Who is Bryan, and is Ken really sick? First, let's start with the text message from Christy Blanchard to Fancy Marcelli. It's been said that this is a recent text, but I think it comes from 2019. We are not commenting on it, period. I told the media from my last interview that from then on, their personal life is personal. They haven't been together for almost 2 months. We managed to keep it quiet for that long. But Bryan took it upon himself to say something. Gyps didn't ask him to say anything. He's been jealous of their relationship from the get-go. I'm asking you to please not give any comments. I know you don't like Ken, but he's been really, and I mean really, sick. He has been having doctor's appointments out the wazoo lately. They can't figure out what is wrong. They did an ultrasound yesterday on his lower abdomen. Whatever is going on with him isn't good. The following are texts from 2019 that were put together by the Good Wives Network. Some are between Fancy and Christy, some between Fancy and Ken, some between Natasha Cooper and Gypsy. You will see what happened between Ken and Gypsy back in 2019 and how they all had a hand in it. Text from Gypsy to Natasha Cooper. My point in question is this. Why does my life, past and future, matter to you or anyone else? I'm just a normal woman with a hard past. I never meant for my case and life to become so public or be put on display for the world. I do not want any more social media or any media attention. That is why I haven't done any interviews in over a year. All I ask is this. Please leave me, Ken, and our families alone, and are of your group, so we may move on with our lives in a positive direction. Thank you. Natasha Cooper replies, Gypsy, what you just said completely contradicts everything that your stepmother and Fancy are doing. They posted your contact information for the world to see and pimped it out to every group online, encouraging people to write to you. You've even asked people who have written to you to write to the governor on your behalf. The Act was an awesome and extremely popular show. There is also now Dr. Phil's podcast about your story. Fancy and Chrissy are in Touch magazine every week. Christy even had her appearances listed on her Twitter as if they were acting credentials. Whether you like it or not, your case and your story are everywhere. I looked last night and there are over 100 Facebook groups pertaining to your case and story. I have never had ill intentions toward you or Ken. I'm the admin of a Facebook group. I just post things that members send me that pertain to the story. Like it or not, when Christy released Ken's name, he became part of the story and people are nosy. They're going to dissect every part of his life. Same with Bryan Golden. My note, Bryan Golden is the boyfriend that Gypsy had before Ken, or a friend who wanted to be her boyfriend. Let's read the last part of this message. If you had killed your mother yourself, I'd have no issue, but you didn't. You drug another person into it whose life was ruined because he met you. There are so many things that you should be more concerned with than Facebook. I say and post what other people won't, so I'm going to ask you some things, and if you want the truth out there instead of people making assumptions, the best way to clear it up is to answer them. Otherwise, it looks like you're hiding something. Do you really think it's a good idea to be involved and engaged to someone who wrote to you after seeing a documentary about your mother's murder? Also, Bryan Golden, he told us he'd like to be more than your friend. How do you feel about him? Are you really engaged to Ken? Whose ring are you wearing? Why are there no pictures of you and Ken, but one of you and Bryan? Who is the man that you wanted to meet to have sex after your mom's murder? Who is the man that Nick says in his interview has control over you? So you see, I have no ill will towards you. Ken, his mom, that's another story. Since they decided to post my mugshot and other personal stuff about me all over the internet just because I run a Facebook group and share info, now it's personal to me. Information about my nieces and my murdered 8-year-old nephew should have never been shared. Those children have been through enough. Share about me all they want, but my kids, that's a coward move. Signed, Natasha Cooper. Definitely the right one now. Ken Urker texting with Fancy. These guys can literally say whatever they want. It's nothing I haven't been hearing for the last year and a half. I'm just curious to chime in. I bet. And I laughed at me and Bryan going at it. Most illogical people I've ever encountered. We wouldn't. Nothing but praises for him for all he's done for Gyps. So as the rumor goes, they think Gypsy is two-timing you with him. But they also think Gypsy sends hundreds of dollars home to her family too, so God knows where they get their info. It's almost laughable. May 13th, 2019. Ken and Fancy texting. I've got a secret. What's that 45-page criminal record report on one Natasha Cooper? Assault, battery, theft, breaking and entering, identity theft, you name it. Wow, yup, it goes on and on. Do you know what yours says? One-time traffic ticket. Misdemeanor. I know too. I knew it the whole time, but it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. She's trying to make people think he's on a watch list because of a qualifying screen everyone gets when they start the search. But yeah, 45 pages of charges for her. Trying to make people believe I'm on a watch list? No, Bryan. Wait, I'll show you. Natasha's post says, I'm turning off comments until this can be verified. I was sent this today by a member. They searched for Bryan Golden. It flagged him as being on a government watch list. I have no idea how accurate this is, only the information shown here. I called them. If someone is flagged, they are or at one time were on a government watch list. Please tell Bryan, his family, yours, Gypsy, not to respond anymore. I heard you were in the hospital. I hope you are doing better. Hope all has calmed down for you guys. Sorry it took me so long to respond, but yeah, I'm glad it all has pretty much died down. People still send me screenshots of things being talked about in there about me, and it makes me laugh at this point. So ridiculous, some of their conspiracy theories. But I'm feeling much better now. Thanks. I know it's Dawn Boker. I've heard a lot about her in the last week. It is, but please don't tell her I told you. She scared Ken, and how her relationship with Nick went super bad. And don't tell Bryan. I don't trust that guy. I don't talk to that boy. Neither does Gypsy. She cut him off. Thank God. He's a tool. I could not find this actual text within this Google Drive link of texts, but Bryan Golden is mentioned a few times. I'm sure that Christy spelled Bryan correctly and didn't mean Ryan. Ryan didn't leak anything about Ken and Gypsy breaking up 2 months ago. In fact, he said the opposite on his live, that he doesn't think they have broken up. Based on the other texts we went over, I'm guessing that the person Christy is texting here is Fancy again. My questions to ChatGPT. When Ken broke up with Gypsy in 2019, was he sick? Yes, Ken was reportedly dealing with health issues around the time he broke off his engagement with Gypsy Rose Blanchard in 2019. According to some accounts, he was experiencing kidney failure, which required medical treatments like dialysis. His health struggles were believed to be a significant factor in his decision to end the engagement, as he may have felt unable to continue the relationship while dealing with his own challenges. This information came through sources like Fancy Marcelli, but since many details about Ken and Gypsy's relationship were kept private, the full extent of the situation wasn't officially confirmed by Ken or Gypsy directly. Did Ken have significant stomach pain in 2019? There are claims that Ken experienced significant health issues in 2019, including kidney failure, which can sometimes cause symptoms like severe abdominal pain due to complications or related conditions. However, whether he specifically had significant stomach pain during that time hasn't been widely or officially documented. Much of what is known about Ken's health issues in 2019 comes from secondhand sources, such as Fancy Marcelli's statements, which should be taken with caution as they are not always verifiable. I hope this helps answer the questions. Who is Bryan? Is Ken really sick? Please like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate you all.